Kano State High Court resumes trial of Chinese national after 7 months break. And point-of-sale operators return to cash buying as scarcity hits banks in Lagos. Nigeria, Kuwait sign agreement for commencement of direct flight. And on the foreign scene, 17 people killed in Philippines bus crash. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. My name is Chiamaka Enendu. Thank you for joining in. A Kano State High Court has resumed sitting in the trial of Chinese national accused of killing his girlfriend, Umita Sani. The accused Frank Wondrongeng, who had opened his defense in murder case, was arraigned by the state government for killing Umita contrary to the provision of Section 221 of the Penal Code. And Defense Counsel Mohammed Danazumi told the court that he was not able to file the final written address due to his involvement in election tribunal cases. And the prosecution counsel Aisha Mahmood said since the defense counsel did not file their final written address, they cannot do anything. And she asked the court to prevail on the defense counsel to be serious about the case, which has to do with culpable homicide. And the judge Sanusi Marji adjourned the case to the 8th of January 2024. And the Federal Capital Territory said on Wednesday that Miss Greatness Olorunfemi, a victim of one-chance robbery, was not abandoned by the Maitama General Hospital, contrary to social media claims. And Olorunfemi was reportedly thrown out of a fast-moving vehicle by her attackers on the 26th of September while on her way back from work. And she died at the Maitama General Hospital in the Federal Capital, where she was rushed to after an attack along the Katampe-Kuba Road. And on October the 4th, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike constituted a 9-member panel to investigate the death. And 2 months later, the panel, while presenting its report at the Abuja Property Development Company, said that based on investigations, Olorunfemi was brought into the hospital dead. And the chairman of the panel, Mohammed, said the late victim was attended to 40 seconds after she was brought into the hospital, adding that no request for a police report was made as alleged on social media. And Mohammed, who is also the president of the Medical and Dental Association Consultant of Nigeria, said the video online showing the late Olorunfemi in a sitting position does not show any evidence of life. And he explained that her cause of death was strangulation, adding that contrary to social media reports, she did not bleed to death as minimal blood stains were found on her. And a police inspector has been arrested in Delta State after allegedly shooting a motorist in Ogeli North local government area of Delta State. And the unnamed inspector was arrested by the Delta State Police Command a day after the tragic shooting of the victim identified as Lucky while on stop and search duty. And this was disclosed in a statement on Wednesday by the police public relations officer in the state, Bright Edafe. And Edafe said the Commissioner of Police in Delta State, Wale Abbas, on receipt of the sad news, immediately offered the arrest and detention of the errant police officer. And Abbas also directed that the officer be immediately transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, Asaba, for a thorough and speedy investigation. And the Commissioner of Police also assured that the offending officer will be subjected to internal disciplinary measures, including criminal persecution. And the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam has expressed sadness over the army airstrike at Tudumbiri village in the Igabi local government area that claimed the lives of over 85 people and left 66 others injured. The airstrike, intended to flush out terrorists, had on Sunday night accidentally hit civilians during the Maulud celebration. And while growing condemnation from various quarters, Amnesty International, who visited the scene, confirmed there could be more who lost their lives in the incident. GNI, in a statement on Wednesday by the Secretary General Professor Khalid Aliyu, expressed this belief that the military would kill innocent civilians in such a manner without due diligence before carrying out such operations in line with standard operating procedures of the military. And on its part, the Arawa Consultative Forum called for a thorough investigation into the bombing incident as well as compensation for the victims. The statement said the ACF is perplexed and deeply disturbed by such an operation could be contemplated and executed in a densely populated area, suggesting an inexcusable, scandalous and possibly incompetent failure of intelligence. Point-of-sale operators have returned to buying cash from traders and petrol station attendants as banks suffer from shortage of Naira cash. And consequently, some operators have increased their transaction charges by 100% from 100 Naira to 200 Naira for cash of 5,000 Naira. Nigerian banks are struggling to pay customers who want to withdraw money due to a cash shortage in the banking system. And some banks in Lagos, especially those in Surulere, Mushin, Kirikiri, Maza and Ejibo, among other areas, were seen rationalizing Naira cash to their customers. And the Central Bank of Nigeria said the seeming cash scarcity in some locations was due largely to high-volume withdrawals from the CBN branches by deposit money banks and panic withdrawals by customers from ATMs. Daily Trust Bureau Chief South Abiodun Alade gives an update on the scarcity in Lagos.
What we have in Lagos as of this morning is the situation where we have scarcity of cash, and then most banks have started rationing cash. So if you go to the banking hall, at most you might be allowed to take as little as 5,000 Naira, and so some of the ATMs that are also working, they don't give more than 40,000 Naira per day. But the most disappointing part is that in some banks where you have like 7, 8 machines, you will discover that only 2 or maybe 1 is even working. So, and then you have long queues, so people are resorting to POS and POS agent, and this has also affected businesses because of the charges. And so what we have now is scarcity of cash, and it's not just in Lagos State. In the entire Southwest, it seems to be something that we are battling with. I think in the South, it is only in the South that scarcity of cash is not pronounced, except in Edo State, where they also have scarcity. But for other states in the South, Rivers, Bayelsa, I think they seem to have enough cash. People have been advised that they should make use of the alternative means of banking or of cash, which some people have started doing. But then you know that due to the situation that we have in our country, there are some transactions that cannot be done digitally because of the volume of cash that is involved. Maybe something you want to buy for 100 Naira, 200 Naira, and you have, especially for the roadside sellers. So they are actually battling with the issue of not having cash or some of their customers not having cash. So people are making use of transfer where they can, but for those businesses, those transactions that cannot be done to transfer, they still have to resort to cash. They have to go to the POS agent to be able to actually make cash, to actually get cash. The situation is a bit confusing and dicey because the CBN actually claimed that we have at least 2.9 trillion Naira in circulation. That is the currency that is in circulation. And when you look at this figure, this is almost the same figure that we had before the Naira redesign, when we had about 3. I think then we had just about 3.2 billion trillion rather, about 3.2 trillion then. But now we have about 2.9 trillion, and then we still have this scarcity. So for the banks, I have spoken with some top officials in some of the commercial banks, and their complaint is that people are not depositing money. that people are withdrawing and then very few people are depositing. So which make it very difficult for the money to actually circulate back to the banking system. But I actually believe that the CBN is trying to see how they can bring in more cash into the system. But from the Apex Bank, they believe that we have enough cash in the system because about 2.9 trillion naira are in circulation as at October, which was the last time that they gave us the data of the money that is in circulation.
And the legal team of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has accused the 200 new Nigeria People's Party lawyers who convened a press conference in Kaduna of unethical acts aimed at creating violence in the polity. Recall that some lawyers who identify themselves as counsels to the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, had met in Kaduna State last week, accusing the Court of Appeal of a miscarriage of justice in its judgment against the Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf. However, responding to the meeting, the APC legal team told newsmen on Wednesday in Kano that the action of the new Nigeria People's Party lawyers was against the rules of law and the principle of justice. The secretary of the APC legal team, Hadiza Ahmad, alongside the chairman, Mustafa Idris, warned that any attempt to tarnish the court's image or resort to blackmail is unacceptable. The APC legal team commended the Kano people for refusing to be cajoled into unnecessary protest on the street, saying the people of the state are renowned for their law-abiding nature. And the three-member panel of the Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS Court of Justice, has ordered the government of the Republic of Benin to pay Sunday Adeyemo, popularly called Iboho, 20 million CFA for unlawful detention. The court ordered that the money should be paid within 3 months. Iboho had on February the 10th filed an application before the court challenging his arrest and detention in the French-speaking country. The ECOWAS court also directed the country to comply with its order and revert to the court with evidence of payment. Iboho was arrested alongside his wife, Rokbo, in Cotonou, Benin Republic, and detained at the request of the Nigerian government. The Yoruba nation agitator fled Nigeria after the Department of State Services raided his residence in Ibadan, Oyo State, on the 1st of July 2022. And you're still on to News Update on Trust TV. Still to come. Single market workers urge wage review to meet soaring prices. More news when we return. To stay tuned.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly above, below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for ATM is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
dark trade is thriving here, in the heart of Mararaba, a bustling satellite town that stretches into Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory.
There is one business for town, for inside Abuja. They do kidney harvesting.
Abbas is one of at least 6 young men from Mararaba that have followed this dangerous path.
One of my friends called me and told me that there is one hospital that they used to sell kidney.
Selling organ is illegal, is unethical. The repercussions are many. One, on the donor himself.
Bai kamata ka kama yaro ko shi ne ya gaya maka yana so. Bai kamata ka dauki yaro ba shawaran iyaye. To yanzu da sun mutu za a yi zubar da gawawakin su kenan.
I don't want me to bury my son. I want them to bury me. But as this thing happened, they're looking like just like ordinary picture.
The investigation is yet to be concluded.
The motive for the donation was money. And when they get the money, and the money will not be able to solve their problems, they ended up with regret. Most of them developed psychological issues. Some of them even got into depression.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. And here is a recap of the major stories. Kano State High Court resumes trial of Chinese national after 7-month break. And point-of-sale operators return to cash buying as scarcity hits banks in Lagos. And moving on, the All Progressives Congress and the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Gabriel Dewan, are at loggerheads over the swearing-in of the newly declared lawmakers who are largely members of the APC. The new lawmakers were declared as winners of the March 18 election by the appeal court after sacking the 16 PDP lawmakers in the State Assembly. The Speaker had stated that the swearing-in will not take place until the 23rd of January, when the House resumes from the 2-month recess. Ado Musa completes the report.
Since 1999, leadership and legislative conflicts have been commonplace in the state assemblies, leading to the current crisis in every political era. This time, the discussion revolves around recent judgments handed down by the Court of Appeal, which sacked all 16 lawmakers of the People's Democratic Party in the State Assembly, citing the party's disobedience of court orders to conduct congresses from ward to state levels. 3 days before the judgment that ousted the 16 PDP lawmakers, Dewan, the only member of the YPP, was elected as Speaker. Following the election, the new Speaker announced a 2-month recess, a development that APC described as a plan to prevent the swearing-in of incoming members.
When a new member come to assembly when the assembly is on recess, there's nothing anyone can do until the house reconvene from the recess. The house cannot cut recess because new members come in. It's not done anywhere. Already the recess was a motion, move and adjourn, and it's become a legal document. It become a motion.
And because of personal reasons, that somebody had to declare a recess. We know that in the House of Assembly that when issues of matters of urgent importance come to bear, the House definitely will reconvene so that they tackle issues of Plateau. So they have to make laws for the betterment of the people of Plateau, and therefore I believe that APC will find a constitutional way in which the Speaker will be made to reconvene the House.
Lawyers expressed divergent views on the matter.
So as it is, I think the House is on a legitimate recess, and then the members on ground do not form quorum to be able to carry on with the duties of the House. However, the law could also be interpreted to mean that the 8 members, the 7 APC and 1 PP members, as it is constituted, they are the complete members of the House of Assembly. Other persons are yet to be members of the House of Assembly, because
there is no law anywhere that forbids a legislative arm of government from reconvening from a recess when there is a call to duty for them to attend to. And in this case, it is only the Speaker that is on recess, because immediately after this House sat and made him Speaker, the court nullified the remaining 13 PDP House of Assembly members. Now, whether they are in recess or no recess, they are not even members. Even if the recess ends today, they are not coming back to that house because they have ceased to be members. Now he's the only person on recess. And upon the receipt of certificates of return of the APC who won at the Court of Appeal, the House ordinarily needs to reconvene.
The lawmakers designate are expected to collect their certificates of return, while citizens wait to see whether the new lawmakers will be sworn in before the expiry date of the recess. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And as the cost of living continues to rise in most parts of the country, Single Market Development Association is promising to harmonize the wages of workers, which has been an issue of concern in the market. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that Singa, despite being the largest commodity market in northern Nigeria, lack of a leadership structure and unstructured wages have continued to affect the prices of goods and services across the region. The report.
This is Singa Market, one of Nigeria's largest commodity market and an extension of the popular Abubakar Rimi market in Kano. It has been estimated that thousands of people trade in here daily. But for several years, the Singa market has been threatened by the lack of coordination and central leadership of laborers operating in the market remain the challenges affecting the sustainability of mainly small businesses and laborers. Honestly, there is no standard rate of what they are paying us laborers in this market. But now, thank God, we have a Singa Market Development Association, which is trying to come up with a fixed price, and as I am talking to you now, this market union is trying to bring together all laborers in the market to address problems such as this. Singa Market Development Association was recently set up, and these youth are now tasked with the responsibility of identifying every shop owner, as well as censoring the number of laborers, wheelbarrow pushers, including truck owners and others trading here following repeated complaints about wages. By the time we finish this exercise, we would have identified a lot of problems we are facing in this market, especially the issue of increase in the price of goods and services, as well as the issue of laborers that we are having problem here and there. We would harmonize all this problem. We are taking their census, we are taking their numbers to know how many laborers we have, how many workers we have in this market, so that we will know how to harmonize their wage. According to the market leaders, in addition to harmonizing the laborers' wage, the new market structure intends to provide a conducive business environment for traders, big or small. This our new Singa Market Development Association is one of our major plans to see that we bring development to this market. We will sit down with the market leaders to identify various problems. We have come up with various issues. In fact, the issue of security, which we were having some problem with them, it's going to be solved. And we have already taken a step to solve the problem of laborers. We are harmonizing their wage, and even just not quite long ago, we sat down with the leaders of the market and also with the leadership of the laborers themselves here in this Singa market, and we have addressed all their problems. It may interest you to know that the issue of harmonizing their wage is a thing of the past at the moment. Although the largest commodity market in northern Nigeria, traders in Singa market are often accused for arbitrary increase of prices of food items and other essential commodity. But with the new leadership structure in place, consumers are hopeful for change in this current high cost of living. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
In business, the federal government has signed a bilateral air services agreement with Kuwait for commencement of direct flight. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, disclosed this on his X handle, where he said that BASA is an air transport agreement between two countries that allow designated airlines to operate commercial flights covering the transportation of passengers and cargo. According to Keyamo, the agreement was signed at the ongoing International Civil Aviation Negotiation (ICANN) event organized by the International Civil Aviation Organization in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The agreement, he stated, would facilitate the commencement of direct flight passengers and cargo between both countries. And away from Nigeria, 17 people died and 11 were injured while a passenger bus veered off a road on Aquila Cove and plunged down a mountain in the central Philippines, officials have said. The bus was traveling in Hamtik municipality in Antique province when the crash happened on Tuesday afternoon, Provincial Disaster Agency head Roderick Train told the media. And 7 people were in critical condition in hospital and 4 others were stable, Train said, describing the section of the road as accident-prone. And 1 Kenyan national was among those killed, and a 2nd Kenyan was among those critically injured. Governor Rododa Kadios earlier said that there were 4 Kenyans on board the bus that was carrying mostly residents of Antique. Local police later clarified there were only 2, and another body was still being identified. The heavily forested ravine was around 100 feet deep, Cardio said. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. Thank you for watching.